everyone, this is Faye, and today I'm here because Suzanne on Instagram asked me how to flip my nose ring, and even though I think I already have a video about my nose ring, I'm just gonna make a quick video showing you how to do that, and then I'm gonna tell you what I think, like when I think you should do that and when you shouldn't. Okay, so it's actually super easy. Let me get closer. So that is my nose, okay? And you just make this ugly face, and then you pull it up, and then it's gone. Yeah, and you can't push it all in, and then you can't see it. Sometimes I do that to do makeup, but it's not really necessary. So to pull it back out, you just do the same face and just pull it out. Not as elegant. But if you have longer nails, it's a little bit easier, but mine keep breaking. Anyways, it's very easy. Let me do it again. Pulling it out is not very pretty. It's not a pretty thing to do in camera, on camera. Yeah, so it's like really easy. And you can just pretend you don't have a ring. So I know a lot of people want to do that because either they're young and their parents are not okay with it, or even if they're older, their parents are still not okay with it. Some people have to hide it for work. I know I did have to when I was working in a retirement home. They let me keep the nose rings because they're very difficult to remove, but they didn't want the septum and it would take this one out, even though the seniors kind of like them. So what I want to say is that if you have to hide it for long periods of time, for example, if you have to hide it from your family, you live with your parents, and like many hours of the day you're going to be around them, I wouldn't recommend getting it done yet, just because then this is a hoop, right? So it's like this, and if you flip it in, the hole that you pierce in your nose is going to be being pushed the opposite way. You know, instead of being like this, it's gonna be like this. So I don't know if I'm explaining this right, but what ends up happening is that instead of your piercing just hanging out like this, it just kind of hangs out in an angle, like more towards your face like this, as opposed to just like regular, because of the way that the hole healed. So I'd say it takes about a month to be fully healed. And I remember that in the first 2 or 3 days, it was really tight and really sore, and it was basically impossible to move it without causing any sort of like pain and discomfort. So if you really want to do it right now and you still have to hide it from people, I would say at least do it maybe like if you have weekends off, do it on a Friday, and so you can at least have Saturday and Sunday that you don't have to move it, and then on Monday you can try to move it. And again, if it's freshly done, you really want to make sure that your hands are clean before you touch it, so you don't get an infection in the pierced area. Just like with any fresh piercing, you really don't want to be touching it, and if you have to touch it, you want to wash your hands very well, and make sure, and then you want to dry it too properly so that it's not damp again, because that can cause a rash and other stuff. So if you really have to hide it from people, I would say just like wait a little bit until you don't have to. But if you really want to do it and you still have to hide from people, just be very careful and just take care of yourself. Make sure you don't get an infection, and that's it. I know people that they were able to just flip it in and they just hid it from people. I think there are like stoppers that you can get that so they don't really hang out. They're just kind of like clear pieces of plastic that you just put it in the hole. So I guess you could just get it pierced with that and wait until it heals, and then you can replace it for a hoop, because then you can flip it more freely. I guess that would be an alternative. And the other thing I want to say is find a reputable piercer, because you want it to be done properly. It's not really supposed to be going in this like thick cartilage that you have down here. if you touch your nose, again, this is me touching my nose on camera, there is kind of like a little piece of soft skin right at the tip of your nose. Usually, it depends on your anatomy. Usually you can't really see it, but some people you can. That's where it's actually supposed to be pierced, so it's not really supposed to hurt as much. If you get the cartilage pierced, it's gonna hurt like a... Yes. So you want to find a reputable piercer, because you also don't want it to be at an angle like this, because that's just not cute, and it would just like cause you more discomfort and pain than you have to. And sometimes it doesn't even heal properly if it's not done properly. So I think I do have a website where you can look for reputable piercers in your area. I'll see if I can find it and link it down below, so look out for that. And that's it. If you have any more questions about this piercing specifically, just leave them down below. If you need a different video, just let me know. If you want to ask about different piercings, I can make separate videos about them. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and all of that, and hit the little bell so you get notifications, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye.